Okay, here we go. A few ingredients. Not very good at this yet. There you go. What am I going to be making today? Let's have a look. I've got some potatoes and peas. Oh, lovely onions. And looking at this, yeah. What's that? Oh, yes. 3 nice cloves of garlic. Let's see what I'm going to make with this lot. Right, I've chopped the onions and the garlic, as you can see here. I'm going to chop the potatoes and the peas. Will obviously stay as they are, but I'll chop the potatoes in a moment. Just thought I'd let you see a few of the things that are going to go in here. There's my frying pan, bit of olive oil. I haven't started heating it yet, haven't even started the cooking process. I'm still in preparation. Here are a few of the herbs. Give you some idea, there's some cardamom pods in there. I'm not actually going to use those for this. But you can see other things in there. Garam masala, cumin powder, coriander powder, or ground coriander anyway. There's some garam masala in there. Some mango powder as well, which is actually the secret ingredient as far as I'm concerned for mine. There's obviously a few other spices I'm sure that some of you recognise. Here's a few of the packages that I use for my cooking. I'm just going to be plopping a few bits of these in. It's mainly 1 or 2 spoonfuls of each, depending on your taste, which obviously will come the more you cook. So I'm going to go and start this process. Be back with you in a second. Alright, as you can see, I've chopped up a few of the potatoes, just to give you some idea of what it's going to look like. Some people mash their potatoes. I actually quite like them a little bit more chunky. That isn't all the peas that I'm going to use. We had a chicken dinner over the weekend, and these are the spare potatoes. I actually did a few extra, thinking that there may be some left. Actually, I didn't expect to have any peas left, but they're fine. They'll go in. And the other secret ingredient, once you can see the oven is starting to heat up a little bit now with the hob. I think it's on number 12, don't know if you can see that. Yep, it's on number 12, so it's heating up. I don't want to keep it on number 12 actually, I just want it to heat up to that. And what I'd like it to do is to really get down to about number 10 or number 9. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the onions and garlic into this oil, and I'm also going to put some cumin seeds once they have softened off a little bit, but I don't want them to get brown or black. So then I will start to put the potatoes and the peas in, and then the spices, and hopefully you'll see it all coming together. Yep, they're looking pretty good now. I'm just going to put some cumin seeds in. Let's see how that looks. Yep, onions are coming along nicely. As you can see, they're just starting to fry up a little bit, but not too bad. What I might have to do is just keep an eye on them so that they don't burn too much. I prefer red onions, frankly. I think they're just nicer. Doesn't matter what type of onion you use. I know a lot of people wouldn't mind using shallots. It's really your pick of the day. I'm just looking forward to putting these samosas together because I've got a few friends around. We're going to have a few drinks and some nibbles. And since I'm living in Denmark and introducing my Danish friends to some of my Indian food, I think we'll have a few samosas and some really nice curried king prawns. Yes, look at the size of those, aren't they gorgeous? Yeah. So as you can see here, they're really nice big size. I'm going to have to take the tails off of those. They're just slowly defrosting. Still, as you can see, most of the potatoes are nicely chopped. I like them a little bit finer. And yes, for those of you that are meat eaters, I'm sorry, this is a vegetarian dish. I'm not a vegetarian, but I'm trusting that those of you that know anything about samosas, you know the potato and pea samosa is unsurpassed. Yeah, hopefully you can see the cumin seeds in there now. I'm not very good with this thing, maybe I'll have to do another posting, but as you can see, a few cumin seeds in there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yep, potatoes are in there now, as you can see, and a few of the peas. I'm going to put a few more peas in there, straight from the freezer. No need to get them out and defrost them. They're going to do splendid. I'll show you what they're looking like in a moment. I'm just going to put some more peas in there. Yep. There's the frozen peas. Just cut the end off and sprinkle a few more of these little beauties into the pan, as you can see there. Just sprinkle them on. Peas are essential. Can't go without the peas. Oh, just in case you've never seen a Danish packet of peas. Coming along well. And as you can see, they're not sitting in a lot of oil, but you still need to have a reasonable amount. I use olive oil, so I've got a bit of a cold today. Well, it's not a cold, it's more of a tickly area. Anyway, this does absorb oil, and don't be afraid to use the olive oil. I think it does add a little bit more flavour to these samosas and makes them much more palatable later on, as you'll see. Because we actually do put a bit of olive oil in the flour when we're making the flour to go to surround these. So I'm just going to keep stirring these for a little while. They need to warm through, and then you're going to see me putting some of these delicious spices. Oh yes, yum yum yum. Shame we haven't got smell-o-vision. Cheers. Well, they're coming along splendidly. Don't want to be too over generous with the spices. At the end of the day, I'm in Denmark, so I know they don't like theirs too spicy. Let's see how we get on. No idea how to use this iPad. Let's just see how it goes. Oh yeah, a bit of turmeric always. Bit of yellow colouring always goes down well. The garlic and the onions are already coming through. Yeah. Oh, don't want it too spicy. That's a bit of chilli going in. Garam masala, ground cumin, always handy, as you can see on there. I'll put a little bit more of that. Now, the one thing about the oil, of course, is that it does absorb the spices, so I might need 2 hands for this in a second, not quite sure. Let's see how we get on. But we do need to get them turned in, and the thing is, I can smell it, you can't. Wow, lovely. They're just starting to coat nicely, aren't they? Awesome. Ooh, it's a shame you're not here to smell this, I tell you. Gorgeous. Now, some of the other things I'm going to add to this in a minute are salt and pepper. But as you can see, it's already starting to look the right sort of colour, the right texture, the right consistency. And at the end of the day, I know that people make samosas with mashed potatoes. I mentioned that earlier on, but I like to keep mine a little bit chunkier because it just gives it that little bit of substance. And here are some of the more magic ingredients as well, as you can see. I always get my spices whenever I can while I'm travelling. This lot actually came from Dubai. I walked around the markets and got some of the stuff there, but I'll be back in the UK, in Leicester, next week, and I might go down to the Melton Road area and see some of my old friends down there and maybe get some more while I'm there. Don't need a lot actually, I've got quite a lot, as you can see. It's the mango powder, that's what gets quite difficult to find. My son bought some over for me, and quite difficult to find. Hope you're enjoying this. This is, once I've finished cooking this, I put most of the ingredients in. I might tinker with it a little bit more, but it's really down to you and your flavour to do whatever you like with it. But this has got to cool down before I can even begin to put it into the pastry. Okay, cheers. Welcome back. As you can see, you know, that's not looking bad at all. And I have to say, I did try it just a few minutes ago, and it's not too hot either. It's probably about Danish standard. Probably a bit warm for a lot of Danes, but the Danes that are coming tonight, and of course our family, they quite like it like that. But it does look good, smells good, and as you can see over here, I'm about to start doing the samosa pastry. Magic ingredients: flour, salt, olive oil, and some warm water. But I'm going to have to sift the flour first, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the olive oil, and I'm going to, oh no I'm not, I'm going to put some salt in the flour because I'm stupid, never mind. So once the flour's sifted, sprinkle in some salt, that's really to taste. And actually I think, but I'm not 100% sure, that the salt helps to get that speckly, crispy outside. So it gives you that special look of a samosa on the outside. And then once the salt's in, I'm going to drizzle in some olive oil and just work it with my fingers into the flour. I'm not going to be able to film this unfortunately because obviously my hands are going to be all gunky. But I'll show you the results as best as I can. But flour in there, and obviously it depends how much filling you've got. I've got quite a lot of filling, so I've been doing this long enough now. I get the eye, and it actually doesn't matter. You can always put it in the freezer once you've made it if that's necessary. But flour, salt, olive oil, and warm water, lukewarm water. Okay, here we go. Thought you'd actually want to see this now. Yeah, I've put the flour in, and I've put the salt in as well. Just mixed it up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not sure if I can hold this at the same time. I'm going to drizzle a bit of olive oil in. Have a look, just drizzle a bit of olive oil all over. That's it. Now I'm just going to work that in with my fingers, and you'll see what I've got in a minute. I've probably put a bit too much now because I'm holding this damn thing, but it should be okay. And then I'm going to put some water in and mix it in slowly. So as you can see here, I've just, don't want to get too close. Still got all the crap on my hands, as you can see from doing the flour, but it's not a bad consistency. See if I can show you what it's like from there. So quite nice, pliable. What I'm going to do now, put that into a plastic bag, and it's going to be in there for at least an hour. And yeah, the olive oil helps to keep it a little bit moist in there as well. Some people, I think they might put a little bit of olive oil on the pastry now. I don't like to, but I think it looks okay, don't you? It's quite pliable. It's not too bad. And you'll see the magic later on. Alright, there it is then. It's in the plastic bag, ready to go. Now, it needs to be in that plastic bag for at least an hour. And actually the kitchen's quite warm, even though it's snowy outside. As you can see, there's snow on the garden outside, and if you come over here, you can see even more when you look out of our view from the kitchen. Yeah, fantastic. Looking out across the fjord into the field next door, we can see the snow. It's, I don't know, coming up to the middle of February. We had a bit of more snow last night. It's not been too bad, but we're going to warm them up with some lovely samosas. And I can't call them curried prawns because I'm going to actually do them in very similar spices, but with some Greek yogurt. So I'm going to put those in a pan with some spices and some olive oil and some onions, and I'm going to stir them and put a bit of Greek yogurt. Just serve them as they are on a small amount of rice in a little dish. If you're lucky, I might show you that later. Cheers. Right, as you can see, I'm going to start making the samosa pastries now. I've got flour on the side here, flour on the side there. There's the pastry in the container there, and as you can see over here in the kitchen, look at that, it's still there, and it's all cooled down now, so it's actually looking quite yummy. Be with you in a second. Okay, so now I'm going to make some of the pastries, and I guess that we've all got our own way of doing the pastry. This is my way of doing it. If you remember rightly, this is the pastry from earlier on. And what I do is I get a piece a little bit more than golf ball size I suggested. I'll put it back in the plastic bag. See that? Keep it nice and moist inside. So you can see where I made it earlier on. It's nice and moist, so I'm just rolling it around like that. Now this is probably a bit big, but let's try that bit anyway. Yeah. Let's see what happens with this bit. It's really good to have a flat surface as best as you possibly can. And I'm just going to be making a circle and keep turning it a quarter at a time to make a bit more space here. As you can see, it's quite elastic. I think it's quite a nice pastry we've done today. It's probably a bit big for the size of the ball. That's what I was thinking originally anyway. What I'm going to try and do is make this as round as I possibly can. First one's always crap, but you have to just, I think it's a bit like pancakes. It takes a little while to get used to making that. So what I want to do, just stay where you are, get myself a little bowl with some warmish water in it, but not hot. Just warm, because I've got obviously a little bit of a sealing issue now. So what we're going to try and do is cut that in half, move that to one side, put this one over here like this, like that. Get the water, seal one edge. Can you see that? So I'm coming all the way along there. You see that? Grab it. Don't know if you're able to watch. I'm going to make like a cone. Okay, can you see that? So there I have a little cone. I've just sealed that edge basically. And it means that I can then hold it in my hand like this, almost like an ice cream cone. It's quite nice. And then I've got the spoon. I got some of the contents out of the frying pan. I've probably put a bit too much in there, but I do like them packed with lots and lots of goodies. So as you can see, I'm just gently squeezing that down a little bit like that. Nothing too bad, not too difficult. And you can afford to be quite aggressive with it actually. Quite interesting. So I'm just sealing it along there again. Put it along there like that. I guess I could do something twirly, something magical with it, but all I actually want is for it to sit like that. And you can see it's your classic triangle shape like that. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of powder on there just to stop it sticking to the other ones I'm going to put in a plate. So if you just hang on there a second, I'll get a plate because I haven't got that prepared. And there you can see one samosa. So what I'm going to try and do is do a few more. So if you come back over here, obviously there was a little bit of water on that from earlier on. So when I did the first one, I meant to wipe it clean. I try and keep it as free from water as I possibly can, because obviously then it sticks. So again, water along the edge. Pick it up, fold it over. Can you see that? I'm being a little bit more obvious when I'm folding it. Normally I'd like the folds to be a little bit closer, but because I'm using Kaya to film this, then I can put this in here like that. More. Do you think that's enough, darling? Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
Right, so what I've done now is I've just put that in there like that. Can you see what I'm doing? I've got myself into a bit of a mess here. But it doesn't really matter because no one sees the mess. All they taste is the goodness. So now once again, water that all the way around. And it's quite a nice moist pastry, so you can actually pull it quite a lot. Can you see that? What do you think? Do you think that's not too bad? And I'm sure that if you've been doing this every day since you were 5 or 6, helping in the kitchen, then this comes as second nature. But I haven't. So I still have to work at it and play with it. And as you can see, there's now 2. So I'm going to make a few more, and maybe we'll film some more of them again in a moment. Right, I'm going to try and make the next one now. I'm very much aware that getting the size of this right is really important, because as you can see, the bigger the circle, the larger the samosas you can make. Now I don't want my samosas to be too big, but I also don't want the pastry to be too thick. Now I think if you have a look at the first 2 that we did over there, they should be okay, but for some people I think that they might find those a little bit too thick. But I think we should be okay. Now they don't have to be perfectly round, and that's the beauty about this type of cooking. Once you've been doing it for a while, you realise round is good, but just so long as you get the basic roundness shape, then you should be okay. As you can see, it's quite elastic, so it's continuing to shrink every time I have a go, and I'm hoping I can rescue this a little bit. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens when I go like this. If I cut it across there again, move that one out of the way. Let's see what happens with this one. Already it's shrinking, but the plan is make them as quickly as I can. They are feeling a little bit thicker than I would normally do them, to be honest. And so what I want to do the next few is to roll them a lot thinner. But for now, let's just get the... There we are. A bit of luck, as you can see, it's already starting to shrink. I can push that down. Get some water on it. Put it over. See how we get on. Just have to turn the rice down a bit. The main course. Actually, it's not too bad. I've done better. But again, you know what the beauty about doing a small one like that is? That could be the one that we taste before we dish any up. Make sure that they're just right. And let's see how we get on with this one. There we go. Tried to escape. There's no escaping my clutches. There we go. Yum, yum, yummy. In my tummy. Water. Super duper. Yeah. Sadly, these are going to be a bit thick, so I've really got to roll the next lot a lot thinner. These are good just to show you the basic shape and everything, but I do prefer mine thinner than this. Still, I'm sure we'll get it right before the end. Just about another 20 to go.
No.
So as you can see, I've made it a little bit thinner, but by making it a bit thinner and using the same size, it's actually made it a lot bigger. So I can put more filling in, which I'm sure this evening, while we're having a beer and a couple of samosas and having a chat and maybe a little game of cards, who knows, life might be full of surprises, then I think they're going to be quite tasty. But this, as you can see, is just a little bit thinner. I'd like it to be even thinner still, but I think my pastry has probably got more olive oil in it, and as I mentioned earlier on, the olive oil does keep it moist, but the fact that it's now moist and workable also means that I can't make it as thin as I would like. Now I might be just trying to find excuses, but actually I don't mind. I don't mind that they're bigger. Oh, just trying to escape on me there. We don't want that, do we? So let me see. I'm just putting a bit more flour on it. If you just have a look here, you can see I've already done 6. And now I'm starting to make a new pile over here. Ideally, I think I'd like to have 12 ready before my guests arrive. So I have a little bit more work to do, and they'll be here in 45 minutes, so I really do have some work to do.
Cheers.
Yeah, nice and easy on my hand. I don't mind putting a little bit more flour in there. Ho, ho, ho. Lucky dip. It's a nice big one. Just flatten it out a little bit. Look at that. Yum, yum, yummy again. Oh, what I'm going to try and do is get this one turned over a little bit so that it gets nice and gooey and sticks without it being too big. There you go, look at that. Actually, looks a little bit like a steer, doesn't it? I guess you could make some interesting shapes with this. Just wanted to show you that cooking can actually be quite enjoyable. What does that side look like? Nothing, a triangle. Right, now as you can see, I've got the oil really quite hot, probably too hot at the moment, I don't know. And here are some of the samosas, look at that, don't they look lovely? Yum, yum, yummy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the oil. Okay, so stand back, drip them in, there's one. And actually, I meant to put them in seal side down. But as you can see, they're starting to cook in the oil. Nice. You're starting to get that little bit of, if you remember rightly when I was talking about the salt, you get that little crinkly edges around the nice and brown. The danger here is the splashing. I've actually got the wrong. Need this one. Oh look, there's the prawns getting ready. A few mushrooms, yummy. Aha, aren't they coming along nicely? Yeah. Now here's my other dish. This is just the onions. Your mushrooms going in. I'll tell you what, it's not easy looking through the lens of an iPad while you're trying to cook. Just wait for those to carry on. Whoops. Yummy. Right, now you can see that I've put 4 in there, and they're coming along nicely. The mushrooms in there, I'm going to put the prawns in there on that, but these are the 4 samosas. So I'm just leaving them to cook a little bit on the sealed side where the water was to seal the pastry itself. But look, there's the 2. There's the size of my hand. You can start to see just how big that is. Ooh. Good. Okay, so time overtook me a little bit. Here's 6 of the samosas, nicely presented on plate. Haven't had time to do any garam masala yet. Here's the other 6 cooking in the pan with the oil. And this dish here is what I put together with the prawns and the mushrooms and the onions and the garlic. Just put a few herbs and spices in there, threw in some Greek yogurt, salt and pepper. Bob's your uncle. Thanks very much.